This is quite probably the most important video I will ever make on this channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the culmination of months upon months of NFT learning and research to show you guys what I believe to be the best overall NFTs that you guys could hold on to for the year of 2022. Now, I know there are a ton of NFTs out there that are extremely good, and the ones on this list might be different than your list, but overall, I want to give you guys some insight into my thought process and how I find NFTs that I'm going to hold on to for a long time. So if you guys are new, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and let's get right into it. Now, starting things off, we have to think about a few factors. The number one factor being obviously what makes an NFT worthy of holding. And the first thing that comes to my mind when it comes to holding an NFT for a long term is whether or not this NFT has a long-term vision or a long-term place in the NFT market. Now, when we look for things that will be here in a long time, I think the first staple that we can sort of cover is companies. Are these NFTs formed by companies or influencers or celebrities who have some level of stature, some level of credibility, and some level of establishment in either the clothing scene, Hollywood, gaming? There are a bunch of different areas that translate over into the NFT industry, but the first thing that comes to my mind is Adidas into the metaverse. Now, this project has had a pretty consistent history, not really moving all that much, and even recently, the floor has only kicked up a little bit. It doesn't have any amazing track record that is so worth raving about, but what I love about the Adidas project is that it's run by freaking Adidas. I think that's kind of obvious in the fact that they are one of the first major companies of this stature to have developed a project like this. Now, when we take a look at their website, it is a very simple yet consistent roadmap that they are planning to do, of course, in 2022, having some level of virtual land experiences. And to be honest with you guys, one of the biggest regrets I have is not buying one of these when they were cheap. Now, right about now, I don't really have the budget to just spend on two of these Adidas and blow 2.5 Ethereum. That's probably not something I could do right now, but I would say if this is within your budget, might be good to hold on to for the long term, because I don't think Adidas are going anywhere. I don't think their project is going anywhere, and I think this is probably one of the better options to get into the metaverse with a mainstream sort of company that, to be honest, has a track record of making a lot of freaking money. Now, before we go any further, guys, if you guys are enjoying it, make sure to check out my Patreon down below in the description so you guys can see exactly what NFTs I am buying and selling, what cryptos I am buying and selling, access to my private Discord, and so much more. There's a ton of great features over on the Discord that I think you guys would enjoy. And again, the Patreon has gotten rave reviews from all of my patrons. I truly do hope you guys will enjoy the content over there. 245 people have been enjoying the content, and I think it's something you guys would love. Link down below. Now, the next project I wanted to mention is perhaps one of the best options, in my view, for getting into the digital land ownership kind of thing. And this is my most expensive NFT purchase ever, purchasing this at 0.75 Ethereum. Now, right now on the screen, it's worth 0.6, but if I refresh, this is an old tab, you guys will see that has changed dramatically. So the floor price right now is sitting at 1.2. Pretty cool trick, huh? So over the past few hours, these guys have absolutely exploded with the reveal of their actual cities. Now, they're going to have a lot of staking features available for this project, and again, this is probably my proudest NFT purchase in history. I'm extremely happy I was able to snag one of these. Spent way more than I felt comfortable spending, but sometimes you got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable, and the Metroverse NFT project has a history of being incredible on Twitter. Again, 100,000 or so followers, so they definitely seem to have the social credibility, and let's be honest, guys, this looks cool. Like, they have just about every major feature that you would want a Metaverse land project like this to have. So they sold out right before their public sale. They sold, I think, 9,900 of the 10,000 supply just in their whitelist. So the public sale was almost non-existent, and that is why I decided to ape in when the floor was 0.75. So again, what I love about this project is they've been building and building and building, and they're going to have features like staking, where you can stake your city to earn the MET, the MET utility token. And when you look at a project like this, I would hold on to this for a long time. It's hard to say whether or not I want to flip it right now for 1.2, get a little under double my money, and then maybe buy two once the floor has a pullback. It's possible, but then it's also possible that this floor never has a pullback, because I think this is ultimately a very quality project in the metaverse space. And again, none of the projects in this video, guys, are sponsored. None of them. I don't even own all the projects in this video. I don't own the Adidas one. I wish I did, like I said, but the Metroverse one I do own. I'm very proud of that pick, and I do think they'll be here for a long time. Now, the next project here is something entering the sort of fashion clothing sort of influencer niche, and that is the Hape Prime project, which has been building a ridiculous amount of support here for a long time. But they are basically 8,000 3D hapes, or hype apes, I guess you could say, and they're fully capitalizing on the hype beast kind of theme and that whole aesthetic, and they've really done a great job of doing that, and that is why their floor price has risen dramatically in recent time. And again, this mint has only been very, very recent, but the floor is sitting around 7.6, which is, again, absolutely bonkers for a project that minted at 0.2. And I called this at the time, I called this before the project actually came out, but I said, guys, this is going to be huge. They have captivated Discord, they have a ridiculous amount of followers over on their Twitter, on the Hape Beast Twitter, which of course you guys can see right here, with 269,000 followers, literally ludicrous. And again, I said this is one of the best experiments in NFT marketing I've seen in recent time. Now, it's hard to say whether or not these guys are overvalued now because, to be honest with you, with a floor of 7.6, it's hard to say how much profit there is to make. But if you guys snagged one of these or somehow had the fortune of grabbing one, I think they'll hold their value for a long time to come, because this community doesn't look like it's going anywhere. They've done one of the finest jobs I've seen in marketing, and that is ultimately why it made the list for today's video. Now, the next project on my list, I have also purchased one of, and that is the Sand Vegas Casino Club, mostly because this is one of the sort of affordable projects out there, and I think this guy has a big future, because what this project actually does is owns land in the Sandbox, which is the second biggest metaverse platform out there. Of course, right next to Decentraland, it is the second biggest metaverse platform out there, and what they do is actually open casinos in this land. So by holding the NFT, you enter their profit share program, and they give 50% of the profit that they make in their casino to holders. So presuming that the Sandbox and Decentraland continue to grow, which I am sure they will, considering they're the leading metaverse cryptos out there, what would be a better idea than owning a piece of a meta casino? And the floor right now is 0.45. I was able to snag one of these for 0.29 over on LooksRare, on a competitor to OpenSea. They had a slightly lower floor, and I was very glad I was able to pick one of these up. But again, I still think this is undervalued right now. I would definitely say this is probably one of the better projects to ape into if you were considering it, because I believe that over time, they will, again, buy these casinos in Decentraland and Sandbox, and this will allow them to grow and prosper as those platforms grow. So if you don't want to spend 4 Ethereum, which is the floor price right now for Mana Land, or 3.5 Ethereum, which is the floor price for Sandbox Land, you could actually buy land, in a sense, by buying these casinos which own land themselves. So you are paying for an NFT that is paying for land to generate revenue in these metaverses that, again, I believe are not going anywhere. I believe they are here to stay, and ultimately I think this company is doing a great job at maintaining that. Now, the final project I wanted to talk about in this video is probably going to generate a lot of rage comments, and keep them coming, because to be honest with you, I see a ton of inherent value in looking at derivative projects like either Soulpunks or Bored Ape Solana Club. Now, these are 2 examples of derivatives that I have. There are other derivatives out there that are good, but these are 2 of the most major derivatives, because Soulpunks is a derivative, of course, of the CryptoPunks on the Ethereum chain, and Bored Ape Solana Club is a derivative of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Now, Magic Eden has recently kind of fudded these projects by placing them off of the homepage and in the derivative category. But aside from that, I think something like either Soulpunks or Bored Ape Solana Club or Galactic Punks on the Luna blockchain will perform extremely well in the future. It's hard to say whether all of them will rock it, but I think one of these derivative projects will perform very well at some point. Because let's be honest, everybody wants to find the next CryptoPunk or the next Bored Ape Yacht Club, and the easiest way to do that is to ape into the same thing on another chain. Now, I know some people have like ethical, concerns about whether or not you should be able to have a derivative project. To be honest with you guys, they're NFTs. I mean, they're NFTs. For me, I personally don't see an issue with having some kind of knockoff of a major project. It's not the same name. I mean, they're called something different, Soulpunks. And again, something like this, whether you have a personal attachment to not, getting rid of the emotional, attachment to some of these NFTs NFTs is probably a healthy thing to do, because even if you don't love the idea or don't think that these are particularly beautiful looking, which they're not, let's be honest, even if you don't think these are particularly beautiful looking, they happen to replicate one of the largest crypto projects out there, and that is the CryptoPunks. And of course, same thing with Bored Ape Solana Club. Of course, they look very similar to Bored Ape Yacht Club, but they're the biggest NFT project on the entire freaking planet, and they are replicating this on the Solana chain. So again, I don't want to vouch for these two projects specifically, but do look into derivatives and knockoffs, and think about creating an even spread of ownership in derivatives like either SolPunks, Bored Ape Solana Club, things like that. Definitely do think about possibly having some investments in derivatives like this, because I think one of them one day may have some weird explosion. And I did sit here and watch my SolPunk, which I bought for 8 Solana, soar to 40 Solana. I held it like an idiot, but I still remember that happening back in September of last year, and I could very well see it happening again given the right momentum. So with that being said, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe again. Let me know down below in the comments, guys, what NFTs are you holding on to life, or at least holding on to for the majority of 2022? Again, all of the projects I named, I am not particularly associated with in any way, shape, or form, but a couple of them, like I said, I was able to buy for a reasonable price, and I can't complain about that. I wish I had all of them, but unfortunately, I don't quite have the money for that. But if you guys do, again, a lot of the projects I mentioned, I do think will generally hold their value in 2022. Of course, do your own research as always, not financial advice. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, check out the Patreon down below in the description, so you guys could have seen exactly when I bought the casino, when I bought the Bored Ape Solana Club, when I bought all those guys. You guys could have seen that on the Patreon if you were subscribed over there. Thank you guys so much. My name is Matt. See you all in the next video. Peace.